no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks,
I told you before.
The dreams of our
Told you before.
forebears in us
When the time comes, they will
our
come to
heroes,
us.
heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, and I win. No day, no day.
And I remind you,
To the day.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so you don't forget.
Where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors display. Ambazonia's bright future starts today.
Because I know they are trying to take me down. But even if I'm not around, don't forget. You don't owe them child support. Don't forget the crimes they've committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle.
And cast out the doubt. Our spirits will rise. There's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem. Justice our creed. Shake, shake.
They said they could fight.
With love we will lead.
They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight. We invite them to fight. Where them they? Where them they?
The future is bright. Ambazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake no day until the very end. A cruise boy to sing.
Welcome to ACN.
All man a place over day. Good evening, fellow Ambazonians, and good day to Ambazonians across the globe. All man a place over day. Today, we'll be talking for Pidgin. Today, I'll be speaking in Pidgin to the Ambazonian people. The world is spinning. Why the leaders them for the 7 major economies of the world, they don't gather for Alberta, for Canada, for which they call and say the G7. We started yesterday. The event for the Middle East. This new phase of the confrontation between the state of Israel and the state of Iran. It don't take a different turn. It don't force Mr. Trump for leave overnight after only 1 day we spend am for the G7. Mr. Trump go for leave the G7, leave Alberta, Canada, leave all the other heads of states and prime ministers of the G7 with the other invitees them. He go for leave them and overnight get back to Air Force One and they fly back from Alberta, Canada, back to Washington, D.C. because there is a raging war between Israel and Iran. It'd be very funny. Human beings will be the only creature or the only creatures we will glorify ourselves with the killing of one another. We take pride and we make ourselves see the destruction of one nation, the destruction of one group of people. Somehow we develop these fictitious beliefs. Say if we destroy those sets of people, then somehow we don't become very important. Then somehow we go emerge victorious. Countries, they spend more money for buy weapons, for fight war, but enough to provide their own people then with drinking water. Enough to provide their own people then with roads. Enough to provide their own citizens with healthcare systems or free education. And the kind of consciousness this, where for most of humanity, we don't embody them. You know, end for day. The world would see them today say that the Western world would see them as the Christian world. They use Christianity for launch slave trade. And carry millions and millions and billions of people. Another human being, take another human being, turn them into slaves. And they do it for almost 400 years. Then immediately they end the slave trade. They start colonialism. For conquer and control other races and other nations. Immediately they end colonialism, they introduce neo-colonialism and imperialism for impoverish other countries so that their own people and their own companies, they will be more advanced and more developed. So now the same thing with wars. The same thing we do with wars. If we not control one set of people in one form, if we not imperialize them, if we not colonize them, then we go use war against them as a means to weaken them, for destroy them, so that we feel good about ourselves. So why the political class, they use war as a political tool, as a political weapon for stay for power? The population, the citizens, they die and they suffer. The war against the Palestinian people by Benjamin Netanyahu. I want to go study these things by ourselves. He launched this war now because of political motives. Before the conflict, before October 7, 2023, the parliament, the police, the judicial system for Israel, if you don't indict Mr. Netanyahu on corruption charges. So in order for ye for stop the corruption cases and proceedings against him, where he go fit finally end up in jail, he launched a war against the Palestinian people. And they keep that war going because by the state of Israel for being in a war, then they know if he hold those proceedings against him, where if he end up in jail. So why you, an average person, you did look at the war against the Palestinian people as just a war, now a political tool for Benjamin Netanyahu for avoid imprisonment on corruption charges. So now, when I don't see what did happen with Iran, this thing not start today. Now a plan will don't be in place over the last 20 years. Now the same excuse they use them for Iraq. So don't look at these things on a very surface, superficial, informational, and hypnotic level. Go study these things. So why right now some of you and some of us, including myself sometimes, we would make these commentaries about what Israel is doing for Iran and what Iran is doing for, depend on your perception, you did celebrate, right? They're inside Cameroon. We'll go for the war for Ukraine, because another conflict that will dominate international politics, right? The government of the United States, we start with President Trump. They built 20 CIA bases under the watch of President Trump for a first term, including President Biden, his own term. They built 20 CIA bases inside Ukraine and around the countries then where they surround that eastern part of Europe. 20 CIA bases. They start to do military build up from Netherlands to France to the United Kingdom. They start to train Ukrainian forces over the last 7-8 years for prepare them for waiting start for 2022. So you go woke up one morning, you don't know how all these things that will already be pre-set up. You woke up one morning, you say war don't start between Russia and Ukraine. Because you know they take the time for study the background of these things and why the Russians, they launch the SMO, the Special Military Operation. Well, now I'll come back maybe next week for can explain and for all now how the Special Military Operation for inside with Russia, they conduct them for Ukraine. Now it will turn into an anti-terrorist operation. It will change very soon because they will expand the SMO into a whole new concept for broadening how they will quickly bring this war to an end. I want to give all we a little bit of some of this background so that when we see things that happen, make we first understand where the cause and the kind mindset with the political leaders They take their people them, go sacrifice them. The government of the United States will sponsor this war for Ukraine. They don't pump in $350 billion into this conflict. Most of that money, it need to go now for the Ukrainian people then. It go for the defense contracts for the United States. The money, the end back inside the United States for the people the way they build the weapons. So while not the year all this big money, most of it need to end up for Ukraine. Maybe about 150 billion end up for Ukraine in terms of for run the country, run the government system, keep the economy going, keep the government paying civil servants or paying the military. Russia don't kill more than 1 million Ukrainians. Every week, the Russian military, they kill 5,000 Ukrainian forces every week. Between 1,000, sometimes between 700 to 1,000 Ukrainian forces, sometimes they be killed in a day. Why? Because the collective West, it need an enemy for justify its own existence. So if the United States, it don't pump $350 billion into the conflict in Ukraine, how much the UK don't pump her? How much France don't pump her? How much money the collective European Union, it don't pump them into this conflict? Now think about this. I just asking this question. The government of the United States, for their own yearly defense budget, now almost $1 trillion for defense. Now how much money they put up for health care, for the health care of the citizens? Now how much money they put up for hospitals? For education. How much? We pumped $350 billion for the war in Ukraine. And that same money now don't lead to the total destruction of Ukraine and lead to the death and the killings of more than 1 million Ukrainian men and women. They want to adjust the soldiers in conflict. As we talk, 60,000 Ukrainian soldiers, their dead bodies, is still there for Russian freezers. Ukraine not even for can collect them, they not can collect them. And just last week, they exchanged 20,000 dead bodies. So now waiting humanity don't become this. Killing don't become a glorified adventure. Make we go back between the conflict between Cameroon and Ambazonia. I'll finish with the one for Middle East first. Mr. Trump tell we say he be a president of peace, right? And he campaign on the basis say he go end all the global conflicts. And talk say they say if he be dead, those wars did not for start in the first place. So he make a promise to the world and get the American people for voting, say on number 1 day when he take office, and he even promise it before he even take office, he go end the conflict in Ukraine and the conflict in Gaza. He don't woke up to the reality of war, right? If you be the most powerful president in the globe, you know, if you control wars, they be unpredictable. 4 months later, Mr. Trump defined how very difficult for get Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu for end the war for Gaza and for accept a negotiated settlement. Now for ye for rab Mr. Trump. Inside war, for President win one war, he launched a special military operation for force Mr. Trump in hand back into the conflict and drag the United States into that war. When I go listen to all the top analysts for the world, when I fit understand how Mr. Trump now be for a very delicate place because of political influence and political finance contribution, where they lead to your own election. The person where they appointee, Mr. Huckabee, where they don't appointee as U.S. ambassador to Israel. Now, based on the contribution of one Israeli woman, a Jewish woman for the United States, a 100 million contribution. So they impose certain conditions upon those financial contributions. And so that make their point that the person where will accept anything in the form of peace, including the U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Rubio. Now, part of the conditions and that way for this finance contribution will lead to the election of Mr. Trump. Now, the complexity of these things. Now, the war for Ukraine between Israel and Palestine ain't never fit for resolver because of a difficult actor who they call it Mr. Netanyahu. And for you for survive for his own political career, eager for keep the war going and open a new front for the war, for drag Mr. Trump inside that war and drag the United States military into this conflict. So they don't launch another campaign. Now there is another thing. They use impressions, media impressions. All the major international media outlets, they only tell now one story. And the story that you go buy into that story. Because you don't want to take the time for go follow expert opinion. Instead, you go to follow CNN opinion, BBC opinion, and the opinion of global media will be controlled by these same elites when they create these wars. So that they get stories for tell you and keep you watching TV. So Mr. Trump never solved the problem for Gaza. He get now a new problem in the Middle East. He never solved the problem in Ukraine. And now Zelensky, they still wrap Mr. Trump back into that conflict where they try to open another front. The countries them, where they call and say the global west, where they meet up now for Canada. They still push now for war instead of for peace because they need an enemy. So now the mindset this way, most of the world get them, including the conflict in Ambazonia. The conflict in Ambazonia, after more than 3.5 decades of Mr. Biya coming into power, and he not get anything where if he showed the Cameroonian people as legacy where he don't do them. It be need a political distraction and a motive for ye for justify why he need for be in power. The war for Ambazonia, it be politically motivated for Paul Biya, just like Netanyahu, for avoid public accountability for his stay in power. So they need for launch a war, for use that war now as the new narrative. So the country wants split, and Naibi, the father of the man where he get the experience for fight the war and therefore keep Cameroon one and indivisible. That is the logic. Is there any other logic to the war in Ambazonia? Now, to the Ambazonian people then, will they be the victims of this war? They don't destroy our communities, kill more than 70,000 Ambazonians, cost more than 800,000 Ambazonians to be displaced, cost more than 1.5 million Ambazonians to now be in desperate need of humanitarian aid. Can you imagine a people where they be blessed with abundance of food and riches, they be in need of humanitarian aid? Okay? Think about that. You get about 400,000 refugees. Then you get about 7,000 to 9,000 Ambazonians who they don't be jailed in all the various concentration camps within Ambazonia and Cameroon. Not to talk of the one where they outside. Think about the cost of this war. Mr. Bia, he divert all the money for Cameroon for the war. But the people, they don't get water for drink. The people, they don't get roads. They get money for fight war, but they don't get roads. They get money for fight war, but again, they don't get money for clean dirty for their streets. They get money for fight war, but they don't get money for build nursery schools. Go for the 3 provinces of northern Cameroon. According to Issa Chiroma, 70% of the population of the 3 northern province regions of Cameroon, 70% of the population, they never even finish primary school. So they don't get money for send their people them for even for primary school or for build primary schools. But they get money for armor cars. But they get money for tanks. And the people, they be very happy when their government, it take money, we not get them. It go borrow money, instead for build basic schools for their people them, they take that money, they go buy armor car. The people of Cameroon, they go to jump up, celebrate, jump up, say their government don't buy armor car. $500 million, who they take for that one armor car? And $500 million, if it transform an entire council, the Cameroon government, it never give even the council for Yaoundé or the council of Douala, it never give them $500 million for their budget. But they get $500,000 for buy an armor car. Some of those armor cars, they cost up to $1 million. Some they cost $1.5 million. But most of them are about $500,000. So when if you understand the mindset of these people, they call themselves leaders, they use war now as a form of a political tool. Why the war? They kill a lot of people. Them, the political elites, we will not see them as una elites, as una leaders, as una CPDM, parliamentarians, senators, mayors, and stuff. They use war as a justification for them for being in power. So the conflict for Ambazonia, now a politically motivated, manufactured conflict for political motives. Now they get a new mission because they create an enemy where they must fight that enemy and use all the state resources for cause destruction, death, and displacement. They use armor car, bring them for Manfe, for come frighten and threaten the people of Manfe. But the Cameroon government not provide the people of Manfe even with basic drinking water. The water, the place where water they come out from Manfe, now the same place where water, when Ayijo be there in power, that place be the function. The same rotten place, rusty place. After 40, 30, 20 years, 50 years, the people that still drink from the same smelling place. And then when I get people, they walk around, tell they say they be mayors. Mayors of war, mayors of death, mayors of destruction, mayors of terrorism. Senators of war, senators of death, senators of terrorism, senators of destruction, senators of genocide, senators of massacres. Ambazonians, they use you, they use we, they use the territory as a political experiment for their political adventure, for gain power, remain in power, and be in control at the expense of your life. You're picking their life, you're picking their destiny. Fortunately for we, this generation don't put Cameroon for a place. Because they don't face a generation where they don't know how to fight. Make no man of fool you. The war for Ukraine, it need to be fought all across the territory of Ukraine. The war for Ukraine will mostly be fought now in the eastern regions of Ukraine. Now, once in a while, Russia will send a strategic strike, use drones and precision guided munitions for launch precision strike into specific places for Russia based on precise intelligence for take out foreign forces, foreign intelligence operatives, foreign headquarters of foreign military intelligence, and place where the foreign governments that they can't bring weapons and for use them for launch targeted strike inside Russian territory. So the war for Ukraine, it will mostly be fought around the eastern regions of Ukraine. So all the other regions of Ukraine, some places they do for Ukraine where none of it need to go on there. For months and months and months, none of it need to go on. So just because some places from Ambazonia don't be a little bit calm, make you not think that the war don't be over. My one una, just because some places in Ambazonia they don't be calm, because Ambazonians they don't shift resources to other places, not think that the war don't be over. And not be deceived, say normalization don't come. Wars they be unpredictable. Now 3 weeks ago, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, after 2 years, they come back inside Fako, and within 1 week of coming back inside Fako, they take down a Cameroon military armor car. They not only destroy the armor car using that Ambazonia Defense Forces, their new bomb that they make them, but they wipe out all the other 4 to 7 Cameroon military be the way they be there inside there. But La Republique be the things that they say, boy, you don't be calm, right? We wanna be very, very careful. The war, Ambazonian forces, now they decide where to fight, when to fight. They decide where to fight, and when and at what time they go carry out an attack. Now the Ambazonian forces, at the place of their own choosing and of their own timing, they go enter for Manthe, you will be unaware. Just like what happened for Boya. Because the nature of the war don't change, the enemy don't change. As the enemy change how for fight, so too the forces they go for change how for fight. So make no man no can deceive you. Say normalization don't come. The war for Ukraine, they need fight and for everywhere. The conflict between Israel and Iran right now, it need to affect all the places for Iran. Neither Iran did strike all the places for Israel. Make no man not deceive you. Say normalization don't come because maybe Kumba don't be a little bit calm. Manfred don't be a little bit calm. The war, they go on. War conditions, they be unpredictable. If normalcy don't come, why the Norwegian Refugee Council just 3 weeks ago, according to their annual report, the conflict between Ambazonia and Cameroon, it be the #1 most neglected conflict in the world. It is so. The conflict in Ambazonia, it be the #1 most neglected conflict in the world. That means in a conflict where the world need to give the conflict the attention we deserve. So if you listen for propaganda, you go wake up one morning, you find yourself inside the grave. As you the worker, no say Ambazonia they inside a state of war conditions will be unpredictable. As you go market, no say you didn't for a territory where under conditions of war, and at any time anything can happen. Not leave and make some person deceive you. Because you see CPDM or SDF party them, they come for some place. They can carry campaign in the presence of B. Nothing say normalization don't come. The war in Ambazonia, it is still rage on. Now just yesterday, they take out another ammo car. I don't get plenty time, but I get too much. But I talk now. But for now, not be deceived. There is no normalcy in Ambazonia. There is an active war of liberation going on in Ambazonia. Tomorrow, we'll find time to give now what did happen and the calculations within La Republique and some other development that take place. I hope say with all my passion, with all my energy, I don't be able, or somehow, some way, get this message across to you in with a tone of seriousness we deserve for save lives, for protect lives. The war of existence, this might remind one again. The Vice President tell me at the beginning of the year, Mr. Kwab, the chairman of Ambazonian War Council, don't can tell one again. The Ambazonia Defense Forces, they prepare. I know say for one, I like make everything what they do, American put up for social media. Because sometimes it gives them happiness. Things they need planning. They need a lot of resources. The ADF plan. Mr. Kwa don't talk on, the Vice President don't talk on. We are at the critical time. We'll feel guarantee now. Wait till this generation don't start them, we'll finish them. It will end either on a negotiated settlement on the table or outright victory for the Ambazonian people. Them. ADF, they prepare. And what I fit tell now. And I get a good day. Thank you, ACN.
Ouais les gars, on va sur le terrain. Maman gars on a le ouais les gars. Ouais les gars. On va sur le terrain. Maman gars on a le ouais les gars. On va sur le terrain. Maman gars on a le ouais les gars. On va sur le terrain. Maman gars on a le
shake, no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise through the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. From the river, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors displaying Ambazonia's
I told you
bright
before.
future starts today.
Told you before. When the time comes, they will come to us.
Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong.
And I remind you,
Shake off the fear.
I know my national security advisor always reminds me I shouldn't utter certain words, but I say them so you don't forget. Because I know they are trying to take me down. But even if I'm not around, don't forget.
Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong. We're
You don't know
marching
the choice
forward where we belong.
Don't forget the crimes they've committed against us. We, this generation, will defeat Cameroon in battle.
With every heartbeat, our message will be
They said they could fight.
shake, shake, no day.
They said they had trained bees. They had United States provided tanks and warplanes. We want them to fight. We invite them to fight.
Under the moon,
We invite them to fight. Where them they? Where them they?
hope break, scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people and innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river.
Water na water. Ambazonians don't be fooled.
Widows they hold space where they empty them cry go there.
Fooled us before, not this generation. This is the never again generation that has decided to write the last chapter of its own history, to pen down the story of General Ivo, the bravery of our patriots who fought in trenches with 10 guns.
Voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go far, no care. They go, you leave your children, they suffer. Them stories they untold. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees.
The stakes are high.
We don't stay whole space where they empty them pride go they.
Negotiations is not to give you freedom, it's to maintain the status quo,
inside the shadows,
to maintain stability for international exploitation and conspiracy against our own humanity.
For every heart, resistance they burn. Ambazonia go stand gidigba. You no go fear night. Oh, mama.
They are coming to talk for the liberation of our detainees, our prisoners of war. They come like Trojan horses with bayonets, murder our patriots volunteers. My fellow people, the kind of country we want to leave to the next generation.
Of courage we know the shape. Even when wind they blow scatter. For morning
It's one
light
where
we
people
go.
find peace and
The
happiness,
children go they sing. A freedom way go fly.
where people can laugh
like wings for sky.
even in poverty. They can transform their own society to reflect the kind of society we want to be.
No vex better go follow. Ambazonia now oh na na. Son, una conspiracy we go win. Our great boys do the work for the ground. Wanna flag there.
Welcome to ACN.